Hello everybody, welcome. If you've never been here before, my name is Nadia and this is Darkxstitch. I mostly stitch full coverage, but I do have a few, I think about one or two smaller pieces in there. This video I'm very excited to do because it's a mid-year whip parade and these are my favourite videos. So how this video is going to go is I have something special to show you right at the beginning, so we'll do that first. Then we're going to get straight into the whip parade. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk to my regular viewers. So if you've just turned up and you just want to see the whips, then you can go. But I am going to be changing the way I stitch my projects that I'm currently doing regularly. So normal viewers will know what I'm talking about when I get to the end, but that's how this is going to go. So first of all, I want to show you the journal. Okay, so you'll have to forgive me for the dodgy camera angle. I am at my diamond painting workstation, but I would like to show you this beautiful handmade journal. This was made by my friend Anne. She now has a new Etsy shop called Annmade Journals, and what this is a logbook or a journal for everything to do with cross stitch. So she does have other ones for diamond painting as well, but obviously I've got a cross stitch one. So you have your whips, you have your stash, your floss storage and your notes. But I just wanted you to take a look at these covers. They are absolutely beautiful. These are all handmade, the entire journal. But inside your covers there is always some lovely pictures. Now I need to mention that these are mostly all unique. As far as I'm aware, there will never be two journals the same. So if you check out her Etsy and you see a journal that you really like, I would highly recommend buying it. And it's absolutely beautiful. This is the tab for the whips. And then my awful handwriting, but you get plenty of whip pages. But you get name of chart, artist, purchased from, number of colours, fabric, stitch count, method of stitching, start date, finish date, and then you can add some notes here. So if we go to stash next, we've got a lovely blue one here. You have lots and lots of pages for your stash, which is really good because if you're like me, you have a fairly big stash of patterns. So I've filled up on page 2, 3, for almost 5 pages I've almost filled up with my stash. And then we have floss storage. So this part of the book is all of your storage. I have not filled mine out yet, but it's got all of the DMC threads. And right at the back we have notes, which is stitchy notes. So there is a good amount of pages here too. There is more than enough pages on every single tab, and then we've got a beautiful dragon here at the back. Obviously yours would be different depending on the theme that you picked, and another little pocket here, and then the back cover has this beautiful castle, and then right at the back is fire and ice. They're all sealed so the paint will not come off. She has hand painted all of the backgrounds. This is all done by her. You know, everything is handmade. She spends an awful lot of time on these books and it really shows. I honestly encourage you to go and check out her Etsy or her Facebook group. If there is a style that you want, the best place to be is the Facebook group to ask her if there's any chance of her bringing something out in that style, or perhaps she will do it if enough people ask. Yes, definitely recommend checking her out. She is absolutely wonderful. I've also got a notebook. Let me show you. So I've also been given a notebook. Now there is a diamond painting journal on her Etsy right at the minute with these 2 dragons. Now if nobody buys it within the next few days, I will be getting it. So I will have a cross stitch book journal and I will have a diamond painting journal. So I will leave the link down below in my description if you would like to take a look at these, but I really encourage you to go and have a look because they are wonderful. Okay, so now let's get onto the whip parade. Everything has been taken out of its project bags. Everything that needs to be taken out of his hoop has been taken out of the hoop. I have a hoop for every single project, so it's a bit of a pain when it comes to these type of videos, but some of them needed to come out of the hoop so I can show you the whole thing. I'm not doing these in any order, I've just like put them on a pile next to me. So the first one I've actually put is the one that I don't have a digital picture for. And unlike usually when I do these, I am going to go through all of the fabric count, what I'm stitching it in, you know, that type of stuff. But typically when I do a FlossTube, I just show you the projects and all of that information is in the description. It will still be in the description today if you want to go back to it. But let's get on to the first one. The first one is Necromancer, and this one I have a picture for. So this is from Thread Geeks, and it is, I can't read backwards, it is 189 by 270 stitches, and it's on 18 count. And this is by Trissabug. I got this in March for a Mother's Day gift, so I haven't done that much on it. I have my trusty notebook that I just showed you, so if you see me, or journal, if you see me looking down, it's because all of the percentages and what I've stitched are on this, because I want to tell you the percentage and how many stitches I've got so far. I think I'm going to need a board to show for the back of the cross stitch pattern, so I'll be back. Right, so I've got my trusty board, my little thing that I do my crafts on. So here is where I am with Necromancer. So I have started in the top left. I hope that's not gone blurry. I like to start in the top left of all of my projects, and this one is on obviously 18 count. It's not pre-gridded fabric, which is what I prefer, but I'm actually doing okay with it, and thankfully it's not a huge chart, so I don't have to worry about miscounting too much with it. But this is being stitched 2 strands full cross, and I have done, since March when I got it, I have done 1,936 stitches, because Mother's Day in the UK is in March, and it's now at 3.7%. So I really do like this one. Trissabug is one of my favourite artists of like all time. I have more of hers in my stash, but I haven't started them yet. Okay, so that is one down. Millions to go. No, I don't actually have that many projects really, considering some people have a lot. They have a lot. Okay, so the next one I've got is Zen. Now this is a licensed counted, not counted, this is a licensed stamped kit from Oraloa. It's going to be a bit hard to see, so there will be a picture on the screen of the actual artwork. Because this is a stamped kit, it's going to be all different colours, but here is what it looks like. It's, how big is this? Has it got the percent? I don't think I need that board. Let me just, I don't think it has the width on it, so I have no idea. I have no idea how many stitches I've done, but it's gonna be quite hard to show you. I have done a butterfly, I've started in her hair, I've started doing some of the background, but all of this green here I'm gonna leave green, and then when you wash these stamped kits, all of this ink comes out, so that will be left white, because that green is actually a white fabric thread anyway. I don't see the point in stitching it all. I haven't actually stitched on this since before Christmas, which is really bad, and that's another reason why I am changing the way I stitch, because a lot of projects are getting left behind, like this one. But it's absolutely lovely. This was actually bought for me as a lovely gift from my friend Tracy, so if you're watching, thank you very much, Tracy. And this is 14 count, and I'm doing 2 strands full stitch. Okay, next up I have Prefect's Bathroom. I found this pattern on Etsy. It's no longer on there, but I have found it on another website. excuse me, thanks to a lovely watcher or a viewer of mine, she found the Lord of the Rings pattern that I'm doing, and this is by the same person. I believe he's called CrossStitch V, something like that, but it is linked in the description below if you want this pattern, because it's no longer available on Etsy. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but there you are. So this one is still in the hoop because I didn't need to take it out. I haven't done much progress on it. I have done 3,612 stitches, and I'm trying to think when I started this. I think it was December. I think this was my Christmas start for 2023. So I am at 3.6%. This is on 25 count fabric, which is my go-to fabric. I absolutely love 25 count, easy count fabric. I will pick that all day if I can. And I like to stitch in half stitch. So this is being stitched in 2 strands, half stitch as well. And I absolutely love the greens in this. I really, really love it. There is another lady that is way ahead of me on this. I will mention her channel below, Sarah. She is doing just the black. So if you want to see more progress than this on this chart, check her channel out. She's a lovely, lovely lady, and she's doing all of the black first before she does the colour. But she is miles ahead of me. So the next one I will use this board for. This is the Heaven and Earth Designs Stitch Along 2024. Now, I have fallen off the wagon with this. I am not going to lie. I don't know if it's just because I'm not enjoying the chart, but I have not touched this for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I think I did it in January and then that was it. So I don't have a lot of progress for you, but here is my stitch along. Now I chose the astrologer cat or astrology cat, and I've done barely anything. So I have done 7,226 stitches on this, and it says it's at 31.51%, but that percent will be wrong because the way the Heaven and Earth design sale works is we get 4 pages at a time, sorry. And the next 4 pages are already out. I think they came out in April, and I haven't even finished 1 page. But I'm not worried about it. I have decided just to not care. I am not worried. I'm not going to finish this. Probably won't even finish a page before the end of the year, the way I'm going. But I'm not worrying about it. I'm just going to enjoy it. I've got the pattern. I've started it. There's no point in worrying about getting things done in time. So this one is stitched on 28 counts, easy count, lugana. Is it lugana? Anyway, it's easy count, it's gridded, and it's 28 count, and I'm doing 1 strand. No, sorry, I'm not. I'm doing 2 strands. 2 strands, half stitch. So there is that one. That one. I am quite ashamed of that one, really, that I haven't done more, but at the same time, never mind. So the next one is a gift for somebody. Now this is Poinsettia Pixie by Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is going to be a gift for the lovely friend that makes the journals, Anne. I'm doing the black first, and then I'm going on to the colour, so I don't need the board to show you the black, but I started this in October or November of last year, and I really need to get back to it. But here is where I am. I just hope that's the right way around. I think it is. And I have done 6,059 stitches, and that gives me a percentage total of 3.5%, so barely anything. So the fabric is absolutely ginormous. It is on 25 counts, half strand. No, that's wrong. Half stitch, 2 strands, as always, if I can get away with it. But that's why the fabric's so big, because it's 25 count. I mean, I could have done it in 28 count and made it a little bit smaller, but I just enjoy stitching in 25 count. So yeah, I really need to get back to this one as well. I really, really do. I would like to just sit and stitch some 310 sometimes. It would be lovely. So next is Darth Daddy. This one I bought off of Etsy. It's still available. I believe the name of the shop is Creatively Stitching, but this is a licensed artwork by Mandy Manzano. If you've ever done any sort of diamond painting before, Mandy Manzano was very, very popular in on Diamond Art Club's website. This was originally a Diamond Art Club kit or canvas or whatever you want to call it, and it got discontinued years ago. I loved it. I really wish I'd have had it, but at the same time I'm glad I stitched it, because to me stitching looks better than diamond painting anyway when it's finished, because it takes so much more time. So this is where I am at the minute, and it's also smaller because the diamond painting would have been huge. So I have done a fair amount, but this is the second year that I've been stitching on this one. I've done 39,959 stitches, and it's at 54%. Now I haven't touched this one either for months, and this is the one that I'm gonna do next week because I just feel like stitching on it. I really do miss it. It's a really easy stitch, really easy. Barely any confetti at all. Only when I got to these colours here, there's a lot of different colours in that lighter area, but other than that, this is a really easy stitch, and it is on 25 count, 2 strands, half stitch. And yeah, I just love it. I really want to get it done. It's at 54% now, so I just really want to get the rest of it done. And Darth Daddy himself, Darth Vader, is going to be quite easy because he's just all black. So it's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to go fairly quickly if I can actually sit and stitch it. Next up we have Pokemon. Now this is Pokemon Gen 1. It's not the free one from Lord Libidin because I didn't like the chart. I didn't like the colours that they'd chosen, so I went out and bought one off of Etsy. I will link the seller below, but I cannot remember off the top of my head what the name is. And I'm going to need the board for this. Now I am not doing the background. She, I believe it was a female that charted this. She had a blue, it was either blue or white background, and I didn't want it anyway. So here is what I have done so far. I'm hoping that you can see that because it's all wrinkled up. It's been in a hoop for a very long time, and there's lots of detail in this picture because they're all of the characters are very squished together. So the more that I do, the harder it's going to be to see each individual character. There we go. And the dog is snoring away. But I've been working on this page, trying to get one page done, and then I was going to go back that way. I have been doing this for about 2 years, I'd say, and I am at 26,568 stitches, and it's 18.4%. So this one is 18 count, I believe, 2 strands full cross. It's got an awful lot of colours. I think this is the chart with the most colours that I have. I think it's close to 250, because the wad of colours is like that. But yeah, I started in the middle when I first ever did this chart, realised I hated middle starts, and slowly wormed my way back up to the corner, because I just don't like middle starts. But I am very happy with this chart, and I miss stitching on it as well. I'm going to say that about everything, aren't I, that I just want to stitch. I think a lot of us want to stitch everything we own at the same time, but obviously we can't. And sometimes I feel guilty about having whips that I haven't touched in a long time, but at the same time I want to do what makes me happy, and if working on one project makes me happy one day and working on another one makes me happy another day, then that's how it's going to be. I am not a monogamous stitcher. I used to be. When I first started, I used to be a monogamous stitcher. But then I found all these other amazing patterns online, and that went straight out the window. So yeah, this one is a chart that I've done myself. So I wanted to do a Tomb Raider chart in kind of like celebration for the remaster of the video games. So the original 3 were remastered, and I wanted to do a personal pattern, because Tomb Raider was a big part of my childhood. Absolutely loved it. It was the first ever video game that I had when I had my PlayStation. It was actually Tomb Raider 4 or 3 that I got, so I missed and I had to go back. But yeah, I got hold of an artist that, because I fell in love with his work. I will put the picture here. And I said, do you mind if I chart this for a cross-stitch pattern for personal use? And he said, absolutely fine. I have trouble tagging him in things because it doesn't seem to let me. But I will put his Instagram account down below. So I then, because I've restarted this as well, I then started this kit on 25 count fabric. But because I charted this so big, it was like over 750 long and 600 and something wide to get as much detail as I could into this chart. The 25 count fabric I bought was awful because I tried to not spend so much money on fabric. I tried to be a bit cheaper. I bought this fabric that was like a beigey colour and it felt like plastic. It didn't feel like this. It felt awful. So I gave up, restarted, and I am now stitching this on 32 count, which is something that I have never done before, never stitched that small, but I'm actually doing okay. The stitches are so small compared to what I'm used to, but it's okay. So here is what I have done on the restarted project. So this is again the top left, and this is the start of a dinosaur here. I really wanted to get some sort of dinosaur in here, so I made a point of filling out that area, and that's what I'll be doing when I touch this one again. So I've only got the restart stats, not the original one, but I've done 1,130 stitches since I restarted, and it's at 0.2%. But it's okay. It's okay because this chart is massive, and if I'd have carried on with the fabric that I had, I would have never finished it because I hated it. So I'm glad that I restarted it, even if it just means that I'm going to be very behind. But again, like, why I'm not setting a date to finish these. I'm just going to finish them when they get finished. Okay. Next up is Long Dog Sampler. So this is one of my smaller patterns, charts, and this is Ragnarok. This is I love this one, absolutely love this one, and I really enjoy stitching it. So before I did this one, I didn't think I would enjoy doing a sampler, never been my thing. I tried one when I first started stitching and hated it, but it wasn't something like this. So I have changed the colour of the thread. Nelly said that fabric then. Changed the colour of the thread to variegated floss, which I purchased from a lovely person called Natalie Stewart. Her link will be in the description as well. She hand dyes floss and it is colour fast. Well, in my opinion, it's colour fast. I don't think she puts that on her website, but when I first started stitching on this, I used gridded fabric because that's just what I'm comfortable with, and then realised, nuts, I'm gonna have to wash this. And I've used variegated floss. So I boiled it just to test because the grids would not come off. Like, I tried cold water and they were not coming off, so I boiled it in the end, and the colours are perfectly fine. They may be a little bit more faded, the ones that I first started with, but other than that, these colours are amazing. So if you're looking for some variegated floss that's colour fast, if you just need to quickly like wash it after you've stitched to get the oils off and stuff like that in cold water, not hot, because I can't guarantee that it's not gonna, every different colour is gonna be the same as mine. I think I might have just got lucky, but I would recommend her. I don't know her, but I would recommend her. So this is what I have done. Now it's going to be hard to see. I have done Hope is the, and it is at 1,857 stitches, and the percentage is 2.8%. So I started this last year, same as most of these projects, and I love it. I absolutely love stitching on it. It is on 28 count, and I use 1 strand full cross, which was a new thing for me as well. I learned an awful lot last year. I tried so many different things last year, and I'm really glad that I did, because now I know what I like and I don't like. I don't mind one strand full cross. I will do it for this chart, but when it comes to full coverage, I would never do it. Never do it. But yeah, I suppose this chart is going to be massive. Like, it is going to be a big chart, but you know what I mean? It's not completely full coverage, so I can live with that. There is a little back coming through here, which I think is cool. And the way I'm doing the variegated floss is I'm just kind of stitching it wherever. So it is going to look a little bit crazy, but that is kind of what I am looking for. Something different. Something different. So the next one is Gamer. I call her Gamer Girl, but I think she's called Gamer Nouveau. I don't know how to say that word. I have a love-hate relationship with this chart. So I purchased this on Etsy from the actual artist, Medusa Dollmaker. I think I checked last week and she was on vacation mode, so I'm crossing my fingers that she's changing her charts. But when I bought this last year, I was not happy with the chart. None of the colours are in order, like numerical order. So when it came to ordering all of these colours, it was a nightmare. I don't actually know how many colours are in it because it doesn't number them. It doesn't tell me how many colours, and I'm not sitting there counting them. The chart is a little bit iffy. I feel like it was just ran through software and not checked. I have said this before, so I'm not going to go on and on and on about it, but that's why I have a love-hate relationship with this, because I get very bored stitching it because it's very checkered everywhere. So I wouldn't mind if it was in certain places, because obviously I chart my own cross-stitch patterns and I understand that dithering colours and fading into other colours is necessary. But some of this is just ridiculous. Like, I'll show you where I am. So I haven't done much. But in here, there's dithering, and there doesn't really need to be. In this background, ideally, you don't really need it, but it's there. It's not the end of the world, but again, it's just something that's like a pet peeve of mine with this chart. So I do reluctantly pick this one up. Now I am stitching in 25 count, 2 strands, half stitch, my soft spot, and I have done 4,459 stitches, which is a percentage of 2.3%, so not too bad. And I started this November, October last year, so that's actually not that bad. So I have made an effort. I am proud. Well done. It looks like a fair amount of progress for me. Right. Next is Venom. Now this is one of my first charts that I did counted. So when I first started cross stitch, for the first 2 years I only did stamped kits because I was too afraid of counted stitches. I bought a dimensions kit and almost quit stitching actually. I was like, this is not for me. I didn't understand what I was doing with a dimensions kit. I didn't know anything about Pattern Keeper, nothing. And I started this dimensions kit and all I knew is that you had to start in the middle of the fabric. So I started and I messed it up, and then I gave up and went to stamped cross stitch, which I absolutely loved. I made a giant one piece for my partner. The only problem is with stamped kits is they are stolen artwork most of the time, unless you have licensed ones like I do. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway, this is one of the first counted stitches that I ever done. So, because my stitching journey hasn't been that long really, if I think about it. I only really started doing counted full coverage with Pattern Keeper a year and a half, almost like 2 years ago now. So it's not been that long. It really hasn't. Now this one is for my daughter. Let's see if I can, oh, well, I've lost the magnet. So this is going to be a gift for my daughter, but this is Venom and I absolutely love it. It is very, very heavy on the confetti. So I struggled with this when I first started, but now I'm used to it. Because I actually left this for about a good 6 months to start with. I started it up here realised how much confetti was in it and was just like, I can't do this. And then once I got more confident with other projects, you know, I came back to it. So here is this eye here. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see. You know, I kind of wish I'd have stained or dyed the fabric, but never mind. I don't know what colour I would have dyed it. A red, maybe, like a really faded red. I don't know, it would look pink, wouldn't it? And he's also got red in here, so probably not. I don't know, but he is absolutely lovely. Did I say the stitching? 13,392, and he's at 30.7%. Now, I was aiming to get this done before the end of the year, but that is not going to happen. But I will pick him up more, because this is a gift and it needs to go to its rightful place with my daughter, because she is an absolute Venom fan. She loves Venom. Yeah, it needs to go. Oh, and I'm stitching it on 25 count 2 strands, half stitch again. Now, where is that magnet? There, I see you. Now, this is another one of my non-full coverage pieces. Excuse me, I don't have a stitch count for this because it is a paper pattern, but this is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. Oh, I didn't tell you where Venom was from. Venom's from Thread Geeks, the same as Necromancer. But this is from Autumn Lane Stitchery. It is 18 count. It's on hand-dyed fabric. And I am stitching it 2 strands full cross, but it's paper, so I have no progress or anything. And this is Dark Queen of the Seas. So I might have to put a picture of the actual chart there because I forgot to mention it a second ago. But this is all I have so far. I struggled with this chart to start with. I really, really did, because my printer did not like the paper chart. My lovely friend Anne to the rescue with the journals, she printed it out for me, and I had another lovely lady called I'd Rather Be Stitching on YouTube send me a message and offer to post me another printed chart, so thank you very much for the offer. But now I can see it so much better. It was like, oh, it was awful because it had like harsh yellow lines all through the pattern, the chart, the paper chart on mine. And then when she sent me hers, I was like, gosh, it's so much better, because it was giving me a chronic headache trying to do it with mine. So she will be stitched on more soon. She also has beads, which I've never done before, which will be interesting to get around. It will be very, very interesting. I started her Christmas time, December. I think I bought the pattern actually on Christmas night. So it would have been, I probably started her in the new year then, didn't I? Because the shipping and everything wouldn't have got here in time with all the fabric. So yeah, I'd say the new year, 2024's new start. So next I have my last stamped kit. Now this is again from Oraloa. I cannot remember the name. I think it's Dawn to Dusk. Here it is. There will be a picture somewhere, probably here, of the original, because I forgot to introduce it. I have been working in the corner as always, and then I started on her face. I actually did a couple of really, really bad tutorials on how to cross stitch for people that were diamond painting and that wanted to learn how to cross stitch. I am not the best teacher in the world, so they didn't come out very good, but hopefully they were useful to somebody. Now she is stitched on 11 count fabric, this one, so it's 3 strands full cross that I stitched this in, which I don't mind. I don't actually mind having 3 strands and doing it full cross on 11 count. It's okay, actually, it's okay. But I think it's because I'm used to it, because I used to, as I said, the first patterns that I ever actually finished were 11 count 3 strands, because typically those cheaper stamped kits come in 11 count with 3 strands, but Oraloa have now started doing 14 count. It is very, very hard to read the symbols on a stamped kit in 14 count. You wouldn't want to go any smaller than 14 count because you can't see the symbols. But yeah. Now this one is my biggest project. So this is Lord of the Rings. It is 999 stitches wide, and this is the one that I have been stitching on near enough every day since my birthday last year on May the 11th. So it's a year old, and the plan was that I was going to have this done by my 40th birthday. So I gave myself 7 years when I started it, because I'm now 34. But that's not going to happen, and I'll explain that at the end of the video. Anyway, let me show you the progress that I have done in a year. So, as I said, I've stitched on this near enough every single day. I tried to do 240 stitches a day before I went on to any other project. But it is out the hoop. And here is what I have done in a year's time. Can you see all of that? Yeah. Now it is a little bit scrunched up because it's been in a hoop. You can probably see where the hoop has been. But I love this. I absolutely love this, and I will show you how big this fabric is. I don't know if I need to stand or what, but so this is how big it's going to be. And I will try and get a bit closer for you so you can see. So I am stitching this in 28 counts, 2 strands, full cross. I have had a bit of a going backwards and forwards with this chart. So what I mean is I started doing one strand over here, and I didn't like it. It felt like it was too faded compared to the contrast of the brightness over here. I don't know if that's just the colours or what, but I just did not get on with it. It really could do with a good wash, so I can see, because I have actually, there's a permanent line or something going on with this chart, and I'm not sure, where is it? I can't see it now because the hoop is made a mark, but there's some sort of stitch line on this somewhere, and I need to really give this a wash and flatten it out just to check on it. But I am very, very happy with it. I think I should really wash this once a year just to get the oils off of it as well, so it doesn't turn yellow, because this is going to take longer than what I've allowed myself. Anyway, this is, let me see the percentages. So I have done 49,946 stitches in a year, and it's now at 7.6. That is barely anything, but I am still going to take it. I am happy with that. I love stitching on it. I love all the bright colours. I would like to get out of this corner, but I still love it. Absolutely love it. So I will talk about that at the end of the video, which won't be much longer actually. So I think I've only got 2 projects left anyway, so we'll talk about Lord of the Rings in a minute. But next up is a soda stitch chart. Now this is another one of my non-full coverage. It is a gift for my granddaughter to be that is due any minute. She will be here any minute, and this is not ready, obviously. But it's getting there, it's getting there. So here it is. I think it's called Cats of the Night. I've just put cats down, but I think it's called Cats of the Night. And here it is. So I'm not holding this very well, but I am really, really happy with it. I think it's super, super cute, super adorable. And I have stitched 6,198 stitches. Let me just get that extra fabric out of the way. And it is at 38.94%. So I'm not doing too bad. Now this fabric is a dyed or it's printed. It's printed fabric from DMC in the colour Sandstorm. And I'm stitching 16 counts, 2 strands full cross. And then there is a little bit of backstitch. So you've got a teeny weeny little bit of backstitch on the cat's faces, if you can see there. But I absolutely love it, and I have been working on it this week actually. I have been doing the pink here, and it's been a lot of fun. It really is a lovely, lovely chart. Absolutely love this one. So you will probably see this quite often because I would like to get this finished. There's another, this is one end, and then there's another, God, there'll be another 2 cats this side when that one's finished. So the last one, but not least, is Caramia. Now this one was bought from Gecko Rouge. So Gecko Rouge put an announcement up saying that they were no longer going to be selling Medusa Doll Maker cross-stitch patterns. I have never bought from Gecko Rouge before this because of how expensive it is. It is and it isn't. I mean, obviously you're paying for someone to pack all your stuff, but when you buy DMC anyway, it comes to quite a lot of money. So for me it does. That's why I usually buy CXC thread. But I bought this because I wanted this chart and I was worried that I'd never see it again. I didn't realise she was going to be on Etsy, but I don't even think she has this chart on Etsy. So yeah, Caramia, and I haven't done much progress, but I started this, I want to say, in November, I think it turned up, because it took a while to get here. It took about 8 weeks to turn up, but I have done 2,554 stitches and I'm at 1.8%. Now, I'd say about 600 of them stitches were done this week because I did work on this one this week. And what I'm trying to do with this one is stitch a bit of the background, then go into this, then another bit of background, then go into this, because there is an awful lot of background to do on this. So, what else do I need to tell you? Oh yeah, the fabric count. The fabric count is 25 count, 2 strands, half stitch, on pre-gridded fabric. As always, that is what I picked from their options, because you can pick a couple of different options, but this was quite pricey in 25 count. It really was, and I think I'm supposed to be stitching it in full cross, but I'm stitching it in half stitch. You can't really, like, I don't think that's bad. There's not really much gapping, is there? And when you wash it, it shrinks slightly anyway, so it will be fine. It will be fine. I am very happy, and I cannot wait to see this chart done because I absolutely love the Addams family. I really do. Okay, that is all of my work. Yes, it is. It's all done. All done. So that is all of the projects. I'm sorry if I rushed through them, and sorry if I forgot anything, like the name of the person that made it or anything like that. It's always all down below. I am terrible at that stuff, but I always try my best. So let's talk about my progress going forward. If you have only been here for the whip parade, thank you very much. I hope you come back again another time, and you can go. I don't really know how else to end that. But if you're here to hear about what I'm going to do next, we'll talk about that now. So, the Lord of the Rings, if you remember rightly, I said like a month ago that I felt like doing 200 stitches a night wasn't enough, and it wasn't gonna, and loads of people worked it out for me in the comments. It was really nice to see so many people work it out. They were saying things like telling me how many I would need to stitch to finish before I was 40, and I was just thinking, God, that's a lot. Because it had to be every single day consistently, and if I missed a day, then that would just add like another 370 stitches onto the next day. So I think that overwhelmed me a little bit, and I've now not felt like working on it at all. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's because I feel like I've got that pressure of, you need to finish this many a day. So by the time I've done it, I don't want to work on anything else. And then the next day I'm just thinking, I don't want to work on Lord of the Rings at all, because I know by the time I've finished it, I'm not going to want to do anything else. So I have changed my mind completely and decided to stop stitching on it every day. I have come to the decision that it's just not going to get done before I'm 40. And it is what it is. I will get it done when I get it done. This is just how I'm feeling at the minute. I'll probably change my mind again. But for the next 6 months, I would like to just try just stitching on whatever. So I probably will stitch on it once a week, knowing me, because I'll know, somewhere in the back of my mind there'll be this thing saying, don't leave it for months, don't leave it for months. But I will try and stitch on it probably once a week. And then for the rest of the week, I'm just going to come down into my craft room and pick something, or we will do the spin the wheel if I really can't decide. This week coming up, or the next, because I film every 2 weeks, these next 2 weeks, I really, really want to do Darth Daddy. I really, really want to do Poinsettia Pixie. And I really, really want to try and do something on Venom or something on the cats, because I know they're both for my daughter and my granddaughter, those two. So I would like to do something on those two. So from now on, it will be random, like what I show you, because, and I feel like that will be better for you guys as well, because I'm always showing the Lord of the Rings and then I'm always showing another 2 projects, and they're usually the same thing because I have the focus of the month as well. So that one needs to stay in like 4 times. Well, no, 2 for you because I film every 2 weeks, but it has to stay in every week for the 4 weeks. And then I feel like I don't get a chance to stitch on anything else. So I'm taking off the focus of the month. I'm taking off the stitch every day on Lord of the Rings, and I'm literally just going to come down here and pick what I want. And that is how I started stitching in the first place, and that is what I enjoyed. So that's what I'm going to do. I think what I'll do is every now and again I'll pick stuff for 1 week, and then perhaps the next week I can spin a wheel. Or I can look in Stitch Pal and see, okay, that one really needs some work doing to it. Let's go and find that one. And something like with the least amount of progress done on it, I can pick that one up, so nothing gets left behind, hopefully, but we will see. But that is the plan. Just gonna see how it goes. It should be a bit more variety for you guys. I don't know if that means I'm going to stitch loads of projects in 1 week and have a little amount of progress on each, or if I'm only going to stitch like one thing and have loads of progress. I honestly don't know, but I hope that you stick around to find out. And thank you very much for supporting me as always, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.